The year was 1906. The date, April 18th. The place, San Francisco. This bustling city by the bay, a beacon of the American West, was about to face its greatest challenge yet. In the pre-dawn hours, as most slept soundly, a tremor deep within the earth signaled the start of a catastrophe. The San Andreas Fault, a massive crack in the Earth's crust, was about to unleash its fury. It stretched for hundreds of miles along the California coast. Unbeknownst to the city's inhabitants, their world was about to be forever altered. The Earth's plates, usually grinding slowly past one another, were about to slip. This wasn't the first tremor the city had felt. Minor earthquakes were not uncommon in this seismically active region, but this time was different. The rumbling grew louder, more insistent. This was no ordinary tremor. This was the start of something big. In a matter of seconds, the ground began to shake violently. Buildings swayed, windows shattered, and the tranquil morning air was pierced by the sounds of crumbling masonry and terrified screams. The Great San Francisco earthquake had begun. San Francisco, at the turn of the 20th century, was a city on the rise. Having emerged from the gold rush as a hub of commerce and culture, it boasted a vibrant population of over 400,000 souls. Its streets, bustling with activity, reflected the optimism and ambition of a young nation. Grand Victorian homes lined the hills, their bay windows offering breathtaking views of the harbor and the iconic Golden Gate. The city was a melting pot of cultures, drawing immigrants from all corners of the globe, each contributing to its unique character. The clang of cable cars echoed through the streets, carrying residents and visitors alike up and down the city's famously steep hills. The waterfront buzzed with activity as ships from distant lands unloaded their goods onto the bustling docks. Life in San Francisco was a whirlwind of progress and possibility. But beneath the surface of this thriving metropolis lay a vulnerability, a hidden danger that could shatter its foundations in an instant. The city was built upon a fault line, a geological time bomb waiting to explode. At 5:12 a.m., the earth roared. What began as a distant rumble quickly escalated into a violent tremor that shook the very foundations of San Francisco. The ground, once solid and dependable, began to heave and buckle like the deck of a ship caught in a storm. Sleeping residents were jolted awake, their peaceful slumber replaced by a terrifying new reality. Walls groaned and cracked, furniture danced across the floor as if possessed, and the air filled with the deafening clatter of breaking glass and falling debris. In the streets, cobblestones transformed into treacherous waves, tossing carriages and pedestrians alike. The city's famed cable cars, once symbols of progress and modernity, derailed and crashed, their bells clanging discordantly amidst the growing panic. Panic gripped the city. People poured out of their homes, many still in their nightclothes, their faces etched with fear and disbelief. The streets, moments ago deserted, were now teeming with terrified residents, desperate to escape the collapsing buildings and the wrath of the unseen force that shook their world. The earthquake's fury was relentless. Buildings, once proud symbols of the city's prosperity, swayed precariously before collapsing into heaps of rubble and dust. The Grand City Hall, its dome a prominent landmark, crumbled under its own weight, a poignant symbol of the disaster's indiscriminate power. Brick chimneys toppled like dominoes, crashing through roofs and burying those trapped below. Gas lines ruptured, spewing flammable fumes into the air, adding an insidious threat to the already chaotic scene. The air, thick with dust and the smell of smoke, was punctuated by the screams of the injured and the cries of those searching for loved ones. Amidst the devastation, acts of courage and compassion began to emerge. Neighbors helped neighbors escape from damaged buildings, sharing what little food and water they had salvaged. Doctors and nurses, many injured themselves, set up makeshift hospitals in parks and open spaces, tending to the wounded with whatever supplies they could scrounge. But the worst was yet to come. The earthquake had ignited a new and even more devastating threat fire. Flames, fueled by broken gas lines and scattered embers, began to lick at the wreckage, spreading rapidly through the debris-strewn streets. San Francisco, already reeling from the Earth's fury, was about to face a fiery inferno. As the Earth settled and the dust began to clear, a new horror emerged from the wreckage. Fires, ignited by ruptured gas lines and scattered embers, began to spread with terrifying speed through the debris-choked streets of San Francisco. What began as isolated pockets of flame quickly grew into an inferno, fueled by the wreckage of a city. The city's water mains, shattered by the earthquake, offered no hope of extinguishing the growing blaze. Firefighters, their ranks depleted and their equipment rendered useless, could only watch helplessly as the flames consumed everything in their path. The wooden structures, so prevalent in San Francisco's early architecture, became tinderboxes, feeding the firestorm. The firestorm raged for 3 days and nights, turning day into night with its choking smoke and casting an eerie orange glow over the ruined city. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to ashes, the flames leaping from building to building, devouring everything in their wake. The air, thick with smoke and the stench of burning wood and melting asphalt, became a suffocating miasma. Desperate residents fled before the advancing flames, their belongings abandoned, their dreams turned to ashes. Families huddled together in parks and open spaces, seeking refuge from the inferno but finding little comfort in the face of such widespread devastation. The firestorm, as if mocking their plight, seemed to consume the very air they breathed. While the fire raged above, a different kind of horror unfolded beneath the rubble of collapsed buildings. Countless men, women, and children lay trapped, their cries for help muffled by the debris, their hopes fading with each passing hour. The earthquake had struck without warning, leaving many entombed in the ruins of their own homes. Amidst the dust and darkness, survivors struggled to free themselves from the wreckage. Every breath was a struggle, every movement a reminder of their precarious situation. The air, thick with dust and the smell of extinguished gas lamps, hung heavy and oppressive. Fear gnawed at their sanity, amplified by the sounds of the inferno raging above. For some, rescue came in the form of neighbors, their faces grim but determined as they dug through the rubble with bare hands, their efforts spurred on by the faintest cries for help. Each life saved was a victory against the odds, a testament to the enduring human spirit in the face of unimaginable horror. But for many others, there would be no rescue. Trapped beneath tons of debris, their cries for help silenced by the inferno, they perished in the darkness. As the fires finally began to subside, leaving behind a smoldering wasteland, the true scale of the disaster became horrifyingly clear. San Francisco, once a vibrant symbol of American progress, lay in ruins. The air, heavy with the stench of smoke and decay, carried the weight of unimaginable loss. Yet, amidst the devastation, the spirit of San Francisco refused to be extinguished. From the ashes of destruction rose an indomitable spirit of resilience and compassion. Strangers shared what little food and water they had salvaged. Neighbors helped neighbors, their shared loss forging a bond stronger than any disaster. The city, once divided by social class and origin, came together as one, united in grief and determined to rebuild. Makeshift hospitals, set up in parks and public squares, overflowed with the injured. Doctors and nurses, many working tirelessly without rest, tended to the wounded with unwavering dedication, their own losses momentarily forgotten in the face of overwhelming need. The wounded, their bodies broken but their spirits unbroken, shared stories of survival and loss, their voices a testament to the human capacity for endurance. Stories of heroism and selflessness emerged from the chaos. Firefighters, their faces blackened by soot and their bodies weary from days of battling the inferno, continued to search for survivors amidst the smoldering debris. Police officers, their authority tested but not broken, maintained order in the devastated streets, their presence a reassuring symbol of hope in a city teetering on the brink. News of the disaster spread quickly across the nation, carried by telegraph wires and the mournful cries of newspaper headlines. From every corner of the country, a wave of sympathy and support poured into San Francisco. Donations, both large and small, arrived from individuals, businesses, and organizations, a testament to the spirit of national unity in the face of tragedy. Trains, laden with food, water, medical supplies, and tents, arrived from neighboring states. Doctors and nurses answering the call to service traveled from distant cities, their skills and compassion desperately needed in the ravaged city. The outpouring of support, both material and emotional, provided a glimmer of hope in the darkness, a reminder that San Francisco was not alone in its hour of need. The United States Army, under the command of General Frederick Funston, arrived in San Francisco within hours of the disaster. Soldiers, their discipline and training put to the test in this unprecedented situation, worked tirelessly to maintain order, distribute aid, and assist in rescue efforts. Their presence, a symbol of national strength and resolve, brought a sense of security to the beleaguered city. As the initial shock began to subside, the daunting task of rebuilding San Francisco began to take shape. The city, its spirit unbroken, but its infrastructure shattered, faced a challenge unlike any it had ever encountered. Yet, from the ruins, a new San Francisco would emerge, stronger, more resilient, and forever marked by the lessons learned from the ashes of disaster. The scale of the destruction was staggering. Over 28,000 buildings lay in ruins, reduced to smoldering rubble and twisted metal. The iconic Palace Hotel, once the largest and most luxurious hotel in the world, was a gutted shell. The city's financial district, the heart of its economic power, was a wasteland of collapsed banks and office buildings. The task of rebuilding seemed insurmountable, a daunting challenge to a city reeling from loss and still haunted by the memory of the disaster. Yet the spirit of San Francisco, forged in the crucible of adversity, refused to be broken. From the ashes of destruction, a remarkable spirit of resilience and determination began to emerge. Almost immediately, the arduous task of clearing the debris and rebuilding the city began. Thousands of laborers, many of them recent immigrants drawn by the promise of work, descended upon San Francisco, their picks and shovels ringing out a symphony of reconstruction. The air, thick with dust and the smell of fresh lumber, buzzed with activity as the city slowly began to rise from the ashes. The rebuilding effort was not without its challenges. Shortages of materials, labor disputes, and the daunting task of re-establishing essential services hampered progress. Yet amidst the chaos and uncertainty, a sense of purpose and optimism began to take hold. San Francisco, once on the brink of despair, was finding its footing, its spirit renewed by the shared goal of rebuilding their beloved city. The 1906 earthquake, while a tragedy of immense proportions, also presented an opportunity for San Francisco to reimagine itself. City planners, architects, and engineers, armed with the hard-won lessons of the disaster, seized the moment to create a safer, more modern metropolis. New building codes, among the most stringent in the world, were implemented, mandating the use of reinforced concrete and other earthquake-resistant materials. Streets were widened, parks expanded, and fire breaks created to prevent the rapid spread of future fires. The city, once a patchwork of Victorian charm and haphazard growth, began to take on a more organized and resilient form. The rebuilding effort also brought about a transformation in the city's architectural landscape. Grand civic buildings, constructed in the Beaux Arts style, rose from the ashes, their imposing facades a symbol of the city's renewed confidence. The Ferry Building, its clock tower and enduring landmark, was meticulously restored, its elegant structure a testament to the city's enduring spirit. The 1906 earthquake, for all its devastation, ultimately served as a catalyst for the modernization of San Francisco. The city, tempered by tragedy and imbued with a newfound appreciation for its own resilience, emerged from the ashes as a beacon of innovation and urban renewal, its spirit unbroken, its future bright. More than a century has passed since the devastating earthquake of 1906, yet its legacy continues to shape San Francisco. The physical scars may have healed, replaced by bustling streets and towering skyscrapers, but the memory of that fateful morning remains etched in the city's collective consciousness. Like a ghost from a bygone era, the earthquake's presence lingers, a constant reminder of the powerful forces that lie beneath the surface. Throughout the city, memorials and commemorative plaques stand as solemn tributes to the lives lost and the lessons learned. The twisted remnants of a once grand staircase, preserved amidst the modern cityscape, serve as a poignant reminder of the earthquake's destructive power. These tangible connections to the past serve as a reminder that even in the face of tragedy, the human spirit endures. The 1906 earthquake forced San Francisco to confront its vulnerability, to acknowledge the ever-present threat posed by its precarious location on the San Andreas Fault, It ushered in an era of seismic awareness, a recognition that preparedness, not complacency, was essential for the city's survival. The lessons learned from the rubble of 1906 continue to inform the city's approach to disaster planning and emergency response. Today, San Francisco stands as a global leader in earthquake preparedness, its infrastructure designed to withstand even the most powerful tremors. But the story of the 1906 earthquake is not just a tale of destruction and loss. It is also a story of resilience, of a city's indomitable spirit, its ability to rise from the ashes and rebuild itself into something stronger, more vibrant than before. From the ruins of 1906 emerged a new San Francisco, a city tempered by adversity, its character forged in the crucible of disaster. The rebuilding effort brought about not only physical changes, but also a renewed sense of community, a shared determination to create a better future for generations to come. The city embraced innovation, attracting architects, artists, and entrepreneurs who helped to shape San Francisco into the cultural and technological hub it is today. The spirit of San Francisco, its resilience, its creativity, its ability to embrace change, is perhaps its greatest legacy. The city's history is a testament to the human capacity for resilience, for finding hope and opportunity even in the darkest of times. The 1906 earthquake, a defining moment in San Francisco's history, serves as a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable destruction, the human spirit can endure.